this time, we ask you to join us in observing a moment of silence as we remember and honor the victims of September 11th, 2001.
Please rise, remove all headgear. Veterans, please render the proper salute as the Rockville High School JROTC presents to you our nation's colors, and the Rockville Band plays the national anthem. The color guard is Sierra Webb. The nation's colors are carried by Cadet Sergeant's First Class Josie Blue. Please remain standing until the colors have exited the field.
Mine.
Fans of tonight's game, if you take a look at the video board, you'll see a QR code. If you want to beat the line of the concession stands, take a shot of that and see if it'll work for your for the app to work.
What's that?
Yeah.
I need that the whole game.
Yeah, I know. That
tonight's game is brought to you by Friday Night Rivals. They have Middle Tennessee's elite high school football games. Tonight, the Army National Guard and Mark Durham Injury Law are proud to bring you this game of the week between your Rockets and Stewarts Creek.
Oh, I know Roy Philpott had the play-by-play. I can't remember who was. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's definitely a part of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It might have been Acho. Was it Acho? Sam Acho? Yeah. Played at Texas. What do you think, Brian? Good?
The community of Rockville.
We're dodging it. Look at that. Look at that. The way it just goes right.
Incredible turf field and scoreboard
Oh, okay.
I actually hope.
Oh, okay.
I actually hope we get like 20 seconds of rain. It's definitely
We
shoes
are
maybe.
deeply grateful for your commitment and partnership in
Splash.
making this vision come alive.
Please join us as we introduce our sponsors and thank them for the Rockville community.
Walk that way.
Our white level donors are Miller's First,
Cavante.
Jordan and Jordan.
This dude, I love their senior pictures are lined on the fence, and they're all like kind of doing something different. And that dude has this big Italian flag, which I love.
Yeah, that's just personal.
But I just love that. Love them letting them like flex like that. Yeah, no, today isn't exactly.
Curving Edge,
Stewarts Creek has a Taj Roseburg, Canel Saint Soir, like Mo Eselden, like their DBs are.
St. Suarez is pretty. That's pretty suave.
Yeah,
Well,
pretty.
that's just movement.
That's just classy. That's just classy.
Hayes Hardware, Crosland Supply, Rockville.
I'm getting to the point where a bunch of my former teammates, like Trent Sherfield, for example, he had a kid, and so now Trent Sherfield is Trent Sherfield Senior, and I'm like,
Oh
come
no,
on, dude, declaring yourself Trent
no,
Sherfield Senior.
he's just Trent Sherfield. The kid is junior.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
have a feeling some type of way about this. 'Cause I
Yeah,
do too.
yeah. You don't just suddenly
He put Trent
become.
Sherfield Senior on his jersey this year. I was like, oh,
Really?
that's a Trent Sherfield move. He's an awesome guy.
I respect that though. You want to flex that you got a kid.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, I respect it.
Our Rocket level donors are Rockville Youth Football, Smith and Salmon's Construction, Esport, our Galaxy donors are McGuire Management, the 12
Rockville's completion percentage is below 50, right?
They're pretty balanced. I mean, they spread it out, but they'll run it.
The video board sponsors are Smarterlini, Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro. We would like to give a special thanks to Britt Franks with All Around Industrial for installing the video board, and Robert Brooks with Brooks Electric for the electrical work on the scoreboard. Again, thank you all for your generous donations and continued support of Rockville High School athletics and Rockville community.
The Tennessee Army National Guard is proud to support Middle Tennessee high schools and high school athletics.
We're working together to help schools and students get the most out of their high school years on and off the field.
The Tennessee Army National Guard is honored to join forces with MyTV 30 and Friday Night Rivals to support the communities we live in, work in, and we serve in. Tennessee Army National Guard is volunteer strong.
Tonight's Friday Night Rivals matchup between two of Middle Tennessee's finest high schools is brought to you by the Tennessee Army National Guard and Bart Durham Injury Law.
Week 4 brings us to Rockvale, Tennessee, where Rutherford County's two newest football programs go head-to-head in a 6A matchup, as the 1-2 Rockville Rockets host the 2-1 Stewarts Creek Redhawks on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law here on MyTV 30. Welcome in, everybody, on a picture-perfect night in Middle Tennessee. He is former Vanderbilt offensive lineman Bruno Reagan. I'm Lucas Panzica. Bruno, there's a ton of familiarity between these two programs, a lot in common, coming from the same community, but very contrasting styles on the field tonight. Should be a good matchup.
Yeah, whenever you visit Murfreesboro football, you kind of get a lot of hard-nosed running the ball. Rockvale's going to bring a different approach. As our home team, they're going to try and air it out, and they got a lot of great athletes on the field. Should be a good clash of styles.
Well, let's get to the keys to the game. For Stewarts Creek, the visitors, led by head coach Ben Caudle, they hang their hat on defense and running the football. Got to win in the trenches.
Absolutely. Win, or even you could use the term neutralize. Defensive tackles make tackle for losses. Linebackers just make tackles. You have to win that first and second down. Give your team an opportunity on third. Maybe short, could open up a screen game, a flat game, or even a shot over the top.
As for Rockvale, led by head coach Brian Guthrie, they want to spread it out, make Stewarts Creek defend the whole yard.
Yeah, you're going to hear us talk a lot about these Rockvale athletes. They got guys all over the field. They're going to try and hit the flat. They're going to go on the goes. They're still going to rush the football a little bit, too. So they're going to look to be dynamic and try and keep Stewarts Creek on their heels.
Let's get to our players to watch tonight. For Stewarts Creek, it's running back and linebacker Caleb Floyd, key leader for this team and critical to what they want to do on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, if you're not a quarterback and you're going to be a player of the game on Friday Night Rivals, you're going to have to play both ways. And he's going to do the tremendous job of leading the offense, the defense. He's going to carry rushes. He's also going to catch a few passes here and there, too. So, great leader for Stewarts Creek.
Speaking of playing both ways, Rockvale star and future Georgia Bulldog Jalen Morgan, our player to watch for the Rockets. He's a safety that commands the back end, but he can make plays at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, Jalen Morgan, University of Georgia, I don't know if you've heard about it. It's one of the top college football programs in the most recent years. Has a championship in the 2022 through 2023 season, and he's their big playmaker. He's kind of that guy where you're like, hey, we need a big play, get it up and go. He also leads the defense. Very talented individual, can track on the angles to kind of supplement his huge athletic ability. It's going to be a great game to watch for him tonight.
Crowd is filling out in this incredible facility in Rockvale, Tennessee. But before we get to kickoff, let's get an injury update from the third member of our crew, Sammy Kincaid. What can you tell us?
Hey guys, for the Bart Durham Injury Law injury update, it's the first time this season that I can happily report there's no injuries on both sides, but there is big news for Rockville. They are getting back Judd Bingham. He tore a ligament in his hand, and he got cleared to play yesterday, so he is clear for Rockville. That's your Bart Durham Injury Law injury report. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have kickoff, coin toss, a whole lot more for you, so stick with us. We'll be right back after this.
It's a picture-perfect scene as the Friday night lights shine down on Rockvale High School, where the Rockets at 1-2 come back home looking to bounce back from a heartbreaking loss against Tullahoma last week. They host the 2-1 Stewarts Creek Redhawks, looking to build off a dominant 35-0 win over Hillsboro. Two former region opponents, two Rutherford County programs, go head-to-head on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law, as we send it down to the field for the Tennessee Army National Guard coin toss.
If I drop the coin, we're going to pick it up, we're going to reflip it. We're still going to use heads, because that's what he called, all right? It's heads. Defer. You want to toss? You have to receive, defer, and kick off. Defer and defend the school. Defer. You want the football, I'm sure? Yes. And you kick off. You want to kick off? Like you scoreboard?
That is the coin toss with our referee, Robbie Milliken. Stewarts Creek wins, defers to the second half, so the Rockvale Rockets will get the football first. An offense averaging 25 points per game through the first 3 weeks. It is the fourth ever meeting between these two teams. Rockvale with the 2-1 advantage. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica. Sammy Kincaid down on the sidelines as we try to dip and dodge the remnants from Hurricane Francine. So far, it is a perfect night, Bruno, for some high school football.
Yeah, great weather. And these guys have been on the field for about 5 minutes just waiting for us to kind of get the ball rolling and get after it. I've been there where I'm like, man, get these TV guys out and get us on the field. And here we go, about to receive the opening kickoff.
Landon Wharf will kick it off for Stewarts Creek. Let's have some fun in Rockville, Tennessee. Ball will be fielded at the goal line by Georgia commit Jalen Morgan. Weaves up to the 15 where he is hit by a white wall of Stewarts Creek jerseys, and Rockvale's offense will come out for 1st and 10 there at the 15-yard line. As we take a look at our starting quarterback tonight for the Rockets, junior Javian Elliott, a first-year starter, dynamic player, athletic with his legs and a good arm, but most importantly, Bruno has taken care of the football for this spread offense that wants to be balanced.
Yeah, the number one margin that determines a game's outcome is the turnover margin. If you can keep the ball protected, you have a good chance to be within of a score in the fourth quarter of any game you play.
Joined in the backfield by sophomore tailback Romeo George. As Elliott guns it to the right side of the field for his first toss of the night. Forward progress will stop Jalen Morgan after a 4-yard pickup, setting up 2nd and 6 at the 19-yard line. Take a look at the offensive starters presented by BMC Metalworks, an industry leader in CNC machining and steel fabrication services, celebrating its 50th year anniversary. Romeo George is the bell cow at running back, and number 2, Jalen Morgan, our player to watch, the future Georgia Bulldog, with 243 receiving yards already on the season. But they'll hand it to George here, who's had a really nice year, averaging 8.7 yards per carry. Nothing going there as the Stewarts Creek defense forces 3rd down on this opening series. Here's the Stewarts Creek starters presented by BMC Metalworks. A big front 3 there of Harvey, Hayes, and Albright, along with Jonathan Waller and Kalen Harris, number 7, the senior linebacker, a big-time leader for this group with multiple D1 offers. Flag on the field on 3rd and 6.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 50 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So that'll back up a Rockville offense, Bruno, that's frustrated after last week racking up over 400 yards of offense, but falling short, a 21-19 loss at Tullahoma.
Yeah, I mean, and that's from a senior, too, a senior offensive lineman, Austin Krieger. And that's something, when you're starting to get into week 3, 4, 5, you really want your team to kind of settle down and eliminate the silly penalties. Give yourself a chance on 3rd and
3rd and 11. Under pressure as Elliott. Ball's batted down. It's on the ground and incomplete. Linebacker Marcel Gordon thought that he had a chance at a scoop and score, but it was Kalen Harris making the play. It brings up 4th and 11. Harris screaming in off the edge.
Yeah, that's just kind of a mismatch from the scheme's perspective, because they have the running back sort of settling in to block for a pocket, and then they have the quarterback rolling out right to the defender. I mean, at that point, unhitch the trailer and get after the quarterback, which they did a good job, almost forced a turnover. We're talking about how Rockville did a good job of protecting the football. Had a little bit of a sticky situation here on our first drive.
So the Stewarts Creek defense forces a 3-and-out on the opening series, and junior punter Brandon Salguro will boot it away from his own goal line. It's a high snap. He's able to get it off into the Rutherford County night. And letting it bounce is Jeremy Smith as the ball rolls past midfield. And we get ready to see the Stewarts Creek offense for the first time, coming off their best performance of the season in a 35-0 win against Hillsborough. The Redhawks 2-1 with quarterback Jerry Taylor, the junior, another first-year starter who, kind of like Elliott on the other side with Rockvale, is just doing a good job taking care of the ball, according to head coach Ben Caudill, also the point guard on the Stewarts Creek basketball team. Bruno, he's just going to get the football into the hands of his playmakers.
Yeah, not a high volume thrower, 32 passes on year, but completed 21 of them, so he does get the completions when needed. They're going to look to set up with the run game, especially on first down.
Jeremy Smith gets the first crack at it, going around the left edge for a short gain, tackled before he reaches midfield. Let's look at the Stewarts Creek starters, again presented by BMC Metalworks. Taylor, we talked about as the quarterback. Kalen Harris and Caleb Floyd listed as running backs, but a lot of players in this offense, Bruno, that can run the football out of the backfield, that can split out and catch it. It's an interesting game for this offensive coaching staff to move around the pieces in a run-heavy scheme.
Yeah, it makes it really good when teams start to scheme against your personnel and you can put them anywhere on the field.
Little misdirection here with the handoff up the middle to Caleb Floyd, who has the most carries on this Stewarts Creek team with 46. That is his 47th of the season, and it's a short gain to make it 3rd and short. This Rockville defense looking to force a 3 and out. Another starting lineup presented by BMC Metalworks, and that's a nasty front three, Bruno, of Melvin Boone, Bo Bryant, and Steven Nelson. Of course, number 2, Jalen Morgan, the future Georgia safety, running the back end.
It's going to be a big challenge for the Stewarts Creek offensive line as we get a jump from the Rockville defenders looking to get the first down as Stewarts Creek off the penalty.
Encroachment, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So a false start for the Rockvale offensive line on their first series, and an encroachment against the Rockvale defense the first time they come out on the field, and it gives Stewarts Creek a first down, presented by BMC Metalworks. So the Redhawks settling in here. Taylor has Caleb Floyd next to him, and he's going to look to throw. Under pressure, Jerry Taylor stumbles over his feet and tumbles down. It's going to be a 4-yard loss for the junior quarterback, who can certainly use his legs, but not sure they're going to run him a whole lot tonight, given it's not a region game. Just kind of trips up here.
Yeah, hey, you can't complain about the field here. Rockville High has a very beautiful field, a great turf. Maybe you can argue the surface, or these Tennessee guys are used to playing on maybe more rougher terrains. So it might be a different thing playing on such a nice flat surface.
It is a brand new turf field here at a beautiful facility, a place they call the Launch Pad at Rockvale High School. Alone in the gun is Jerry Taylor. Again, faces pressure, and he throws it out of bounds. Was looking to pick out Caleb Floyd, but it falls incomplete. And we talked about that Stewarts Creek defensive line already getting after the quarterback and forcing a 3rd and long.
Yeah, we have 3 free Rockville defenders getting into the backfield. That's going to be a big challenge for Stewarts Creek. We talked about them before the game. Stewarts Creek's going to have to win, or at least neutralize these guys. You got to fight them at the line of scrimmage, give your quarterback some time. There's already some design moving out of the pockets, but even then, you got to give your guy time. We saw almost a big boy pick. Bo Bryan reached out for it at the end there for Rockville.
Yeah, number 60 in the middle, the MTSU commit. It's a deep defensive line for the Rockville Rockets, and they're going to come after Jerry Taylor here. Trying to step up in the pocket. Taylor's thrown down at midfield, and it's Cavante Porter, the senior outside linebacker. They moved him to that position in the offseason, and it has paid off so far with a sack on the opening series.
What's so great is like this is a team sack right here. So Cavante Porter, he does a good job of holding the outside, and the quarterback kind of gets into him. But Dallas Palduo does a great job on the strong side, rushing his guy up the field and then cutting on the inside once he gets a lot of depth.
So now Stewarts Creek will have to punt it away. Sophomore R.C. Davis will send it back to the Rockets, with both defenses coming up with the stop on their first try. That will roll to the 10. Watching it go out there is Riley Talley, and that'll bring us to our first break of the night. Scoreless early in Rockvale on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Both offenses punting on their first series here in Rockvale as Stewarts Creek at 2-1 visits the Rockvale Rockets at 1-2. Let's check in with our national anthem moment from Pregame, presented by the United States Marines. Always a special moment before kickoff under the Friday night lights, but especially here at Rockvale High School, a school with so many military ties, all the way down to the roots of a deep history at Rockvale, one that you may not think is there for a school that opened in 2019, but a lot more to tell you about that a little later on in the broadcast. For now, the Rockets come back out for their second offensive series, Bruno. 3 and out on the first one. How much do you stick to the game plan here if you're the Rockets backed up in your own territory?
If I'm either of these teams, I'm not panicking right now. These have been like pretty decent 3 and outs. Nothing we've seen.
Here's a throw into the left flat and breaking free at the 25, still going at the 35, and going down is James Stevenson. The junior receiver pops a big play for the Rockvale Rockets, 30 yards for the BMC Metalworks first down.
A good play just off the key fake right there. So they have the option to hand off, or you can pull it it depends on the quarterback's read, which in that case is the corner positioning. So the corner was a little bit softer. He thought he could get 4 to 5 yards, a little bit more off the rush instead. So he threw that ball, made for a great play off the edge.
Gets them to the 38. Here's a give to Romeo George, swarmed in the backfield. Well read by the Stewarts Creek defense. Taking him to ground is Michael Colquitt, the junior Red Hawk. There's Rockville head coach Brian Guthrie in his 3rd season. Was an assistant for head coach Rick Rice early on after Rockvale's first football season in 2019. Guthrie came over in 2020 and was promoted in 2022, trying to elevate this program past the first round of the postseason, which they reached last year, losing to Mount Juliet in the first round. Tip drill, throwing to the right side was Elliott, and it falls incomplete. They'll escape there as he was looking to the right side for James Citizen, and it brings up 3rd and 10.
Something I noticed is Rockville really loves the short game, especially early. I mean, everybody loves the short game as a spread offense. You're going to try your heat runs, just throwing out to the flat, maybe some wide receiver screens. But Stewarts Creek defensively, if you watch the linebacker alignment, they're really tight to the line of scrimmage. They want to make those 2 seconds of the play very stressful.
Needing 10 for a first down here. Under pressure, Elliott just has to throw a dart over the middle. It's behind tight end Dallas Paldo. And incomplete to bring up 4th and 10. The pressure by Julian Albright, the senior nose guard. Another punting situation for the Rockets.
You can see it's just a will dog right out the back. Number 6, Daniel Johnson, the junior for Stewarts Creek. He comes off the edge free. A pretty a pretty risky call on a 3rd and long to bring your weak side end, especially against a spread team, but it works out for them. He gets in the quarterback's face, forces a 3 and out.
Brandon Salguro back out to punt it for the Rockets. Jeremy Smith standing on his own 35 to receive, but it'll be blown dead here by our crew, led by referee Robbie Milliken.
Private snap, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So that makes it 4th and 5. We'll see if that affects Brian Guthrie's decision to punt it. Doesn't look like it will.
Yeah, and these special team cadences, they get a little more arithmetic, and it can just catch some players off guard sometimes.
Salguro boots it to the 40. There will be no return. And Stewarts Creek will come back out, taking their turn to try and open up the scoring here in week 4, led by Ben Caudill in his 5th season. He's 25 and 21 in that time. Last year, getting the Red Hawks to the first round of the 6A playoffs, where they fell to Ravenwood by a pair of touchdowns. An offensive guy at heart, he calls the plays for this Red Hawks defense, but really cut his teeth in coaching as the defensive coordinator for legendary coach Ron Crawford at Brentwood High School. But he's back calling plays for the Red Hawks, trying to lead his offense down the field here.
We got a good field position battle going on. Sorry to interrupt you, Lucas, as Stewarts Creek is about to hike for the first of their 2nd series.
They'll start on the 34. Jerry Taylor hands off, bouncing it to the right side is Caleb Floyd. He jets out past the 40, brought down at the 41. Ben Caudill, who's good friends with Rockville head coach Brian Guthrie. They talk all the time, go to church together. Plenty of familiarity across sidelines in this one.
Holding. Offense number 10. That's a 10-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
As Caudill's offense will get backed up here on what was a good 1st down gain by Caleb Floyd. It will now be 1st and long for Caudill. Former quarterback at BGA. Now has to come up with a play call for 1st and 20.
I mean, this Rockville defensive front, we haven't even gotten to see some of the athletes make plays for the Rockville defense on the 2nd and 3rd level. It's been all the front. Stewarts Creek really has to find a way to stay on these guys and at least keep them on the line of scrimmage.
Taylor hands off around the right side. This is Smith, a big play machine. Jeremy Smith up to the 45 and tussled out of bounds. A guy that had an 80 and 65-yard touchdown run earlier this year in the week 1 victory over Tullahoma. Gets them 22 here to make it 1st down, presented by BMC Metalworks.
Yeah, they actually pull a guy from the front side and the back side on this one. That is a swing it totally outside. They do a good job of catching everyone on the edge. It's also a great play call, too, because Rockville's been very strong up the middle getting penetration. Now they're like, okay, Stewarts Creek is going to try and attack these edges.
They'll sweep it out to the left side. Again, it's for Smith. He's got some room across midfield. Accelerates at the 35. Jeremy Smith at the 20 and brought down in the red zone. Came into this game averaging 10.6 yards per carry, and the senior back gets 35.
There's nothing better as an offensive coordinator. When something works, you stay in that series of plays. So the field transitions. They run to the right. Now the field's on the left side, and they just run their quick backwards pass, basically, and they hook it to the field. And they're saying, our athlete has speed. He's going to beat your big boys off of the edge. Big explosive gains for Stewarts Creek.
Now Caleb Floyd gets a turn, surging through the middle of the Rockville defense, hit down at the 15 by a gang of blue jerseys. And you're going to see that a lot tonight. The 1-2 punch with number 1, Caleb Floyd, and number 8, Jeremy Smith, who have combined for well over 500 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns coming into the season. And Floyd, the bigger bruising back that maybe you'll see more in red zone situations.
Yeah, he has the big responsibility here of chipping it away. Not expecting to be too explosive, but able to get your guys going for him and stay ahead of change. He's tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, swung down there by Melvin Boone, the junior defensive end who Rockville was hoping to get back this week due to injury. He is back, and his head coach calls him sometimes unblockable.
I mean, my gosh, that's college level playing there by Melvin Boone. You see also number 5 here, Evangelo Brooks, who gets in on the play. But Boone, he gets his hands on, and he creates separation with the offensive line. That way he can shake and be free to make the play in the hole. Great job.
3rd and 7. Stewarts Creek trying to open up the scoring, trying to avenge a loss to Rockvale on their home field a year ago, a 34-26 final. The play action for Taylor, lobs down the right side, and it's Caleb Floyd putting his head down into the end zone. Touchdown, Redhawks. Floyd with his second receiving touchdown of the year, and it's the Redhawks on the road striking first at Rockvale, 6-0.
Once again, Stewarts Creek, they know their advantage is right here off the edge. They want to stay away from those big Rockvale defensive tackles, so they're just swinging out their runs, swinging out their passes. They're attacking flat to flat. They're really going to challenge these Rockvale's defensive backs now that up the middle isn't as free as they want it to be.
PAT is up and good by Landon Wharf. And Stewarts Creek on their second offensive series marches 66 yards, scoring on a touchdown connection from Taylor to Floyd.
Hi. Okay. Welcome back to Rockville High School, where Stewarts Creek is currently leading 7-0. And I am currently joined by Sergeant First Class Ebenezer, a painting. And thank you so much for your service. And also thank you to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. But first off, can you tell me, how is the Tennessee Army National Guard different from other military branches?
So the Tennessee Army National Guard is different from other branches because it offers a blend of various services, military service, community development and involvement, and also allows civilians the flexibility to serve while enjoying their civilian jobs as well.
And there's a lot of jobs that are offered. What are some of the jobs that somebody can do whenever they're in the Tennessee Army National Guard?
So we have numerous jobs called the MOS. Based on your ASVAB score, you can pick whatever job you want to do. We have over 150 jobs that you can choose from based on your score.
And everyone talks about the benefits while you're in the military, but what benefits are specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
So specifically to the National Guard, the Tennessee National Guard is a Tennessee Strong. That pays for your bachelor's degree and your master's degree in any college you attend in Tennessee.
That's incredible that those are offered. And again, thank you so much, Sergeant IP, for your service. And thank you again to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, up to you.
And thank you, Sammy, as we're back at Rockvale High School, where the Stewarts Creek Redhawks have taken a 7-0 lead. Quarterback Jerry Taylor finding running back Caleb Floyd leaking out of the backfield. 5 plays, 66 yards, 2.5 minutes off the clock, and the Redhawks strike first, kicking it back to the Rockets, where it'll be fielded at the 10 by Jalen Morgan. Dangerous in space, but a flag flies as he gets to the 20, and he'll be brought down there. We'll see if this comes back, and it looks like it will. Rockville has yet to start a drive with field position better than their own 15-yard line so far, as they get ready for their third series of the night.
Go block in the back off the receiving team. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Take a look at the center of your screen. You'll see the block in the back right where Morgan is running. So on our first return, Morgan kind of takes it out, and any big-time player kind of suffers for that. I have to carry the team situation and mindset. So he takes it out of the back of the end zone, and then for this one, they get a penalty. Rockville hasn't had good field position yet in this game.
Well, hand off to George with starting field position at the 10, and he has nowhere to go, as it's Daniel Johnson again knifing in to make the play, the junior outside linebacker. ends up getting one with the forward progress, but this Stewarts Creek defense hunting deep in Rockville territory.
Daniel Johnson there, I mean, that is, you want to talk about great football technique, half of it's just not quitting on the play. A great motor play. He's just constantly moving, and tracking. So when the running back cuts back in, it's right in Daniel Johnson's lap.
Elliott will throw to the left side. It's caught. Stevenson able to fall across the 20 for a BMC Metalworks first down, an industry leader in CNC machining and steel fabrication services, celebrating its 50th year anniversary here in 2024. Rockets move the chains.
Stevenson was a shoelace tackle away from breaking it for an explosive play for Rockville. He's been kind of the go-to guy on the left side of the field. Now it's on the close side. They're doing great off of the key fake with their rushes, but they do have to establish that running attack if they're going to keep hammering it.
Toss it to the left side. This is Cavante Porter's first carry. A flag goes down as he falls at the 24-yard line. We talked about how they moved Porter to a Sam linebacker position on defense. Well, they moved him to running back this offseason as well. That move has paid off as he's collected an offer from Florida this summer, among other D1 programs, but this will go backward.
Number 8 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that's on sophomore tight end Dallas Paldo to back up the Rockets again.
Third penalty, I believe, for Rockvale. As we appeared, thought we might have gotten a look, but Rockville struggling to get out of their own way currently.
1st and 20. Porter again runs into a wall at the 10, and this Stewarts Creek defensive line steps up again. Ben Cunningham, the junior outside linebacker, in on the stop, and Ben Caudill talked about it pregame. We have to win up front. There's no other option with this team's identity. Defensively, they're doing it so far.
I mean, Cunningham just gets up the field way too fast on a power play. You don't need, a running back is taught to take a drop step and then 2 to evaluate and try and scrape it.
And Michael Colquitt getting there first. Cunningham coming in there for cleanup. Here's 2nd and long. Having to go deep is Elliott, just heaving it downfield a few steps in front of his intended receiver, Riley Talley. Was Cannell St. Soir in coverage, and now 3rd and 22 for the Rockville Rockets. How much are you seeing Stewarts Creek try to take away Jalen Morgan, the Georgia commit, who came in tonight with 10 catches for 243 yards and 3 touchdowns, had a catch early for a short gain, but hasn't seen the ball since, number 2 in blue.
I mentioned it. They're attacking a lot of these guys on the edges with tight alignment as we see the screen develop for Rockvale.
As Porter trying to reverse field, has a lot of work to do, and he's wrapped up at the 15. Stewarts Creek just swarming to the football. There is a Red Hawk down after the play that'll force another punt for the Rockets. And it looks like that's number 9, Mo Ezeldin, the senior free safety. Part of the veteran core that came back in the offseason defensively for the Red Hawks. As he's going in for the tackle, a little friendly fire there from his teammate, Cannell St. Soir.
Yeah, those are one of the brutal ones. I mean, you got to try and keep your eyes up at all times in football. And defensive football's tough. It's so fast-paced. It's so instinctual. You'll see a lot of criticism when guys have bigger hits now. Like, oh, he's, trying to go after a guy or this or that. It's a fast-paced, and it is a violent game. Football's not a contact game. It's a collision game. As you can see, the young man's already back up, jumping, ready to get after it again.
Yeah, great to see him jog off there. And Stewarts Creek's got to feel good about what they've done defensively so far. 3 drives, 3 punts forced. As the snap is high for Brandon Salguro, but again, he's able to snag it and get it off. Smith lets it bounce. And the Stewarts Creek Red Hawks will take over at their own 40-yard line, looking to build on a 7-0 lead with 1:22 to go in the first quarter.
Lucas, I got to tell you, a football field, I don't know if you know this, a football field is 120 yards, 100 yards of play, and then 10 yards of end zone on each side. On this game so far in the first quarter, we've used only about 60 yards of the field. It has been all Stewarts Creek from a field position standpoint. They've been constantly threatening the red zone. As we have our 2 coaches on screen for Rockvale, we have head coach Brian Guthrie. And for Stewarts Creek, Ben Caudill, two guys go to church together, great community men.
Big parts of the Rutherford County community as it's a run up the middle for Caleb Floyd. He knifes through, and it's another BMC Metalworks first down on a 14-yard surge by the senior running back. Stewarts Creek offense in business once again. Correction, a 19-yard run by Floyd, and the Red Hawks are in Rockville territory.
That's the ball Stewarts Creek wants to play. They want to go between the tackles. Last drive, they kind of had 3 plays that were on their own drive. As they're starting to get a little bit of tempo, too, they see some success and they want to keep going on it.
Kalen Harris now joins quarterback Jerry Taylor in the backfield. He ends up giving it to Floyd, who is met with the open arms of junior defensive end Melvin Boone, who wrestles him down. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Boone, 6'1", 244-pound junior, part of this big and athletic Rockville defensive line that Stewarts Creek has had to prepare for all week. They'll empty out the backfield. Taylor will screen it out, and Jeremy Smith able to work his way down the sideline, making a 4-yard gain out of it. Pushed out of bounds by Evangelos Brooks, the senior linebacker. And that could take us to the end of the first quarter, where in week 4, the Stewarts Creek Redhawks lead the Rockvale Rockets in this Rutherford County matchup on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law on MyTV 30. Second quarter action when we come back. One quarter down in Rockvale as we get ready to start the second. Stay tuned for the United States Navy halftime report. We'll highlight this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, have participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the nation, and more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. As you take a look at the first quarter stats, all Stewarts Creek early on, especially on the ground, Bruno. 94 total yards to Rockvale's 53. Defense in the run game. That's what the Redhawks hang their hat on, and it's showing after 12 minutes.
The Redhawks have really started to open up their base run game. They're going between the tackles, which is what they want to do on this drive. Rockville, they've really struggled. Those penalties, there's only been 4 of them for 30 yards, but it's kind of killed their drives up to this point.
Stewarts Creek back out for a 3rd and 6, and there's early movement. Plenty of laundry early on here.
Encroachment, defense.
Fifth penalty of the game against the Rockville Rockets, and it turns 3rd and 6 into 3rd and 1.
You just see that's one of the worst ones. Yep, Bo Bryant. We saw him reach out almost for the interception, but he's the nose guard. When you're over the football, there's no excuse. You got to use your eyes, can't use your ears.
I'll call it 3rd and 2. We'll make this the first play of the second quarter. Going right up the gut, and Caleb Floyd would not be denied across the 35. And he's stopped by Jalen Morgan, coming down from the safety spot, but it's a UA Local 572 first down for the Redhawks, the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry, UA Local 572. Stewarts Creek taking the lead on its second offensive series with a 5-play, 66-yard drive that culminated with Jerry Taylor finding Caleb Floyd in the passing game, the running back catching a 16-yard touchdown. They'll toss it out to Jeremy Smith this time on the right side across the 30. He goes down at the 15 to make it 2nd and short. Tackled right on the stars of this big American flag watermark here on Homer Brown Field at Rockvale High School.
They got the pin and pull, so they're just pulling their backside guys. If the backside guy has too much of a pressure, he'll just take it into his zone. And Smith does a great job. He finds his hole, and he just explodes through it. Doesn't do anything fancy. 67
yards on 4 carries, and they'll give him a rest with Floyd getting the give, but no gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 2 for a Stewarts Creek team that's 2-1, hoping with a win over Tullahoma, and then a shootout loss at Blackman in week 2, and then coming back home for a big shutout win, 35-0 against Hillsboro in week 3, and that really gave this team a lot of confidence. Rockvale 1-2, but tight 1-possession losses in both of them, losing by 50 and 47-yard field goals. They'll go Wildcat here. Kalen Harris hit immediately, but the second effort gets him across the sticks, and it moves the chains as he's down at the 22. Eventually making the stop was Porter, but he was able to battle off the hit from Brooks in the backfield.
Just the Wildcat look. Their backfield guys, they're just basically linemen with a step drop, able to get some head full of steam. That's one of those we want more than you type plays.
Another UA Local 572 first down, and now it feels like you're seeing Stewarts Creek slow things down and get to the pace that they want in the run game.
What they call this is rushing efficiency. Any rush over 4 yards, you want to have a good efficiency percentage. We're averaging 4 yards a rush. Your offense stays on the field. It brings a big load onto the defense that you'll start seeing in the second half, which will turn these 9-10-yard plays into explosive plays.
Keep it on the ground again with Caleb Floyd still on his feet across the 10 and tumbling down at the 9-yard line. It'll bring up 1st and goal for the Redhawks. And this 1-2 punch at running back is marching Stewarts Creek back down the field and into the red zone as there is another Red Hawk down and being looked at.
Caleb Floyd did a great job there. He's kind of clearing out the hole, too. You don't go into a hole trying to dance around it. You want to clear the color and force your way through. Caleb Floyd doing a good job also of hugging his offensive blockers' paint. When you see the backside of a blocker, you want to be as tight as humanly possible to try and make use of as much space.
Starting left guard Elijah Roberts, the 6-foot, 200-pound junior, is down and being helped up by Stewarts Creek trainers. So I hope the young man can get back to the sideline safely, and certainly hope he's okay for a Stewarts Creek offensive line that is going to work here on this series.
Yep, on the backside, you see number 60 for Rockville, O'Brien. He just kind of rolls into it. That's a tough spot. I mean, when you're at the point of attack, anything can happen. The best you can do is try and keep those feet moving, but even the top guys, football is just such an unforgiving game. Sometimes you get rolled into.
It's one of those plays that you wonder how it doesn't happen more often. There's just a heap of bodies in a scrum like that, one guy rolling over another. Sure, that's happened to you plenty of times playing center in the SEC.
Absolutely. I mean, you get locked into just doing your job so much, you're not even aware of your surroundings. You're just thinking, me and this guy, and and in those times, you just kind of lose sight of where you're at and don't protect yourself like you should.
From the gun, From the Wildcat, I should say. Caleb Floyd pushing the pile across the 5, and he'll be stymied at the 4. And it brings up 2nd and goal for the senior tailback after a 5-yard gain. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica, Sammy Kincaid pacing the sidelines tonight. Week 4 action. The Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday night rivals presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Stewarts Creek trying to double their lead with another touchdown here. And big picture, trying to avenge a 34-26 loss against Rockvale at Stewarts Creek High School a year ago. Taylor under center. Fakes the give. May run. He'll throw. Back in the end zone. Touchdown. Kai Mangrum. Pretty good first catch of the season for the senior receiver. And the Redhawks go up 13-0 early in the second.
Quarterback Jerry Taylor, it's just a design rollout. He fakes the give. Who else to Floyd? Gets the defensive eyes. Has a little jump pass situation. Gets it just enough where Kai can get underneath it. And as you said, Lucas, what a first catch for the senior. Able to put his team up by 2 scores on the road. Kai Mangrum.
Had to go to ground for it, and the call on the field was a catch and a touchdown. But Bruno, they look like they're reversing this to an incompletion. Did look like it might have skipped off the turf there, but also looked like the call was touchdown. So it will actually be 3rd and goal from the 4.
I'm unfamiliar with such situations. I didn't know we had a review. We can take a look for ourselves here in the booth. Watch number 4, Kai Mangrum. The ball is going to go to the left side of him. It's a little bit behind him as quarterback Jerry Taylor is throwing off of the back foot on the run with a little jump pass. Ball hits the ground, I say incomplete.
And they're going to put Taylor in the gun again, trying to run it in. He has to scamper out of bounds. Great job beating him to the sideline by the Rockvale defense. And number 0, Torrey Patterson, the junior linebacker, brings up 4th and goal. On the 3-yard line, Redhawks offense on the field for the moment.
If I'm Stewarts Creek, I'm going for it without question. Rockville has proven they can't get out of their own side of the field, and if you pin them in on the 3 or the 2, even on a failed conversion, I would take those chances any day rather than a three-point take. Where when you're in high school, kicking isn't as accurate as you would want it.
Landon Wharf is the sophomore kicker for the Redhawks. He's 10 of 13 on his PATs this season, which is about what this range would be. They certainly trust him from this spot, but they're going to take a timeout to talk about it. First one of the half for the Redhawks. We'll take one with them as Stewarts Creek leads at Rockvale. 8 minutes to go in the second on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Stewarts Creek leading Rockvale on the road early second quarter as we pause for a break with financial literacy with Wilson Bank and Trust.
In football, every play counts. One missed block or one bad pass can lead to the game slipping away. Staying ahead is crucial when it comes to your finances too. Taking on too much debt or overextending yourself with payments can put you in a tough spot, making it harder to achieve your goals. With the right game plan, you can get back on track. At Wilson Bank and Trust, we're here to help you avoid costly setbacks. Whether it's managing debt, setting up automatic payments, or finding the right loan, we've got your back. Your financial strategy shouldn't depend on a Hail Mary. Let's craft a game-winning financial strategy that fits you. Visit Wilson Bank and Trust today, and let's win this game together.
Coming out of the timeout by Stewarts Creek, the Redhawks are going to go. 4th and goal from the 3. Taylor under center. Fakes the give. Looking for his man on the rollout. Fires, incomplete, and the Rockvale defense gets the stop and the ball back. Trailing 7-0, Jalen Morgan, the Georgia commit, makes the play in what could be a big momentum swing for the home team.
That's what you expect from a player like Jalen Morgan. You're the top guy recruited around the area. You're going to go play for the national champs of 2022 for 2023. As we see Taylor roll out, he kind of gets caught between, do I want to run it, do I want to throw it, send the blockers down the field. Gets lost in the color and the fog of war in the red zone.
Dallas Paldo bringing the heat on the pressure too, and Jalen Morgan isn't going anywhere. Lead receiver for this team, only 1 catch on the night. See if they can get him more involved, lined up wide right, close to the boundary at the bottom of your screen. Marooned inside their own 5, and breaking free across the 20 is Romeo George. That'll get him out of a hole. Biggest run of the night for this Rockville rushing attack. And it's Romeo George, the sophomore bell cow, going 21 yards for the UA Local 572 first down.
This is where the spread is really nice. They actually pull 3 guys for this play from the backside out of 11 personnel. It just kind of overwhelms the Stewarts Creek front. All you need is a little bit of space, and they, after all night struggling to get out of their own side of the field, it looks like they're finally starting to threaten.
Let's see if that lights a fire under this Rockville offense. Here, Elliott's going to tuck and run. 35, scampers out at the 40, and now the Rockets starting to rip off some chunks as the quarterback on his 21st rushing attempt of the season came into the night with 90 rush yards. That one goes for 16.
There is a flag on the play as we're looking, but a great scramble right there. Just kind of looking out of his peripherals, avoiding any white jersey that he can see out of bounds. Looks like it's coming back, Lucas.
Yeah, and that one's going to hurt for the Rockets, who have been plagued by penalties.
Offense, number 50. 10-yard penalty from the spot. First down.
And it's the senior center, Austin Krieger. The 6th penalty against the Rockets tonight, and suddenly they're back inside their own 15. The line to gain all the way up at the 34. 1st and 20. Elliott goes to the right side. It's Paldo, the tight end, spinning across the 20 and down at the 24. Gain of 10 gets him back to the line of scrimmage, where it's 2nd and 10.
I like the idea to get into your bigger body, too, just to gain any sort of positive yards. Fall forward, and you can see we get a 10-yard gain right there to make it 2nd and 10, much more manageable for an offensive coordinator.
3rd catch of the year for the big 6'4", 244-pound sophomore. Elliott, the first-year starter at quarterback, pitches to George. Scampers around the left end, and he is met, driven back by Daniel Johnson. After a short pickup, Taj Roseburg, the senior safety, in on the stop as well. A guy that was playing freshman football with the Redhawks and then stepped away. Is a starting guard on the Stewarts Creek basketball team. And back in March, he came back to Ben Caudill and said, "Coach, I want to play football again." And here he is as a big-time player, leading the team with 3 interceptions on the back end. Here's 3rd and 5 over the middle, incomplete. Paldo couldn't hang on, and it brings up 4th down. A Rockvale drive that had so much promise ends with a 4th and 5 and the punting unit back on the field.
And they're at the right mindset. I think Rockvale needs to try and really attack the second level, specifically over the middle, because Stewarts Creek linebacker alignment, it's like they're really trying to just fluster these offensive linemen off of the start. But if you have any play that develops past the second, that middle of the field will be wide open, just a little bit behind his throw there.
Salguro with the punt. Smith watches it knuckle to the 40 where he lets it bounce. So Stewarts Creek gets stopped on 4th down inside the 5, but forces a punt on defense, and they'll get it back with a 7-0 lead. More second quarter action when we come back.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham, and Sonic, who through their contributions to this program make these games possible for you, the viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our Friday Night Rivals telecasts: the United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support: Stewarts Creek and our host, Rockvale High School.
Great crowd out here at Rockvale enjoying a gorgeous Middle Tennessee night. And I don't know what kind of rain dance or ritual Bruno Reagan did down on the field pregame, but so far so good about midway through the second quarter as we are avoiding the rain for the moment. Stay with us in the fourth. The Bart Durham Player of the Game coming up as Stewarts Creek gets it back after forcing a punt, leading 7-0. See if we just tested out the announcer's jinx there in the second. Handoff up the middle. Swung down is Caleb Floyd in the backfield. So Stewarts Creek with Steven Nelson, the senior defensive lineman, offers on the table from UT Martin, Eddie George, and Tennessee State. Just another in this rotation of 6 to 7 defensive linemen that make the Rockets so hard to run against.
The game has basically been controlled by the front seven of both teams, specifically the defensive line, as I struggle to enunciate there. But they're just getting into the backfield and really allowing their linebackers to run free and make plays at the line of scrimmage.
Taylor. Little trickery here. Coming around the left side is Mangrum, trying to win a foot race against Porter. He does. Across the 40. He's dropped by the corner, Ty Brown, but not before he picks up the UA Local 572 first down on an 11-yard run by Kai Mangrum. He's a track guy outside of football season, and he shows it there down the sideline.
See Jerry Taylor, the quarterback, kind of getting his feet wet in a little bit of blocking, and he doesn't know whether to hook it or kick out, but Kai Mangrum kind of makes the decision for him with his speed, turning up on the edge and getting a good play for Stewarts Creek as they threaten across midfield.
What's wrong with it?
At the 45. Jeremy Smith getting the give here. It's a good tackle at the 45-yard line as he's hit down by Jaron Monk, the junior.
Love the play call. It's one of those quick jet sweeps, but you can't have any penetration in the first second of the play developing. Right there, we had offensive linemen's backs kind of getting into the backfield, just really clogging up the room you need for that jet sweep to develop and hit the edge.
Brian Guthrie observing his defense that has been impressive, allowing 18 points per game through the first 3. Trying to give his offense back the football.
It looks like it's so dark.
As Rockville trails at home.
Gain up.
Whistles as a timeout is taken by Stewarts Creek. Second one of the half taken by head coach Ben Caudill. On 2nd and 9 at the Rockvale 46-yard line. So Stewarts Creek discussing it. You mentioned both fronts have been kind of controlling the game. So what has Stewarts Creek been able to do on offense to move down the field and find some production with the 7-0 lead?
Well, Stewarts Creek has been finding their success in the wide pitch game and their pin pull game, which is where you take the guards on the front side and the back side, and then you pull them out. Everyone else, your job is to cover down and don't let your guy get beat across the face or over the top. Just keep them on the back side. So they've had success there attacking the edges, getting away from the Rockville stout defensive line front. And then when they do go inside zone, they do a good job of clearing out the middle. Where they're struggling is kind of the outside zone game where they're trying to reach. There's just too much penetration from Rockville to really let that play develop.
Back out for 2nd and 9. Taylor empties the backfield. Stewarts Creek spread out here. They're going to throw on second down, going in the middle of the field. It's a one-handed snag. Still up at the 20, 15, and wrangled inside the 10 and down at the 6 is Grady Harvey, the tight end. What a catch by the senior. First and goal for the Red Hawks, a 48-yard pitch and catch from Taylor to Harvey.
Congrats, Grady Hardy. You're getting an invitation to tight end. You're going to teach George Kittle and Travis Kelce how to ball with the one-handed snag. A little bit of Gronk-esque. Just will not go down, running his feet. You got to be fired up if you're Stewarts Creek attacking the goal line here after that.
Monk eventually gets him down, saving the touchdown. Stewarts Creek in business again. And the Wildcat, Floyd, stopped as he goes down at the 3. Man, Grady Harvey with his 4th catch on the season had 58 yards coming into the night. Number 80 there in white and red picks up 48 with that catch alone. And Stewarts Creek head coach Ben Caudill talked about wanting to improve efficiency in the passing game from last year to this year. They've certainly done that tonight. Floyd swarmed in the backfield. Steven Nelson said no sir and drove back the senior running back. Big time play by the defensive end.
I'll tell you what, the Rockville defensive line collectively fighting for their rights to be player of the game, unit of the game maybe. They're just in the backfield causing terror. I mean, there have been times where Stewarts Creek using their array of different backs has kind of opened things up for them. Taylor has taken some things from the Wildcat. Floyd has done good, really hitting the holes hard, but if these plays take too long to develop, Rockville is going to get into the backfield.
Nelson replaced by MTSU commit Bo Bryan, number 60 in the middle of that D-line. Here's 3rd and goal for the Red Hawks on the play action. Under pressure, Taylor in trouble. Taylor hammered at the 10. And the Rockets defense stands tall with their backs to the wall once again. Melvin Boone comes screeching in for the sack, and it brings up 4th down.
They love rolling Taylor out in these red zone situations, but in the last series, we have him kind of, dancing between, am I going to pass it, am I going to throw it? There, he really dedicates himself to the run, but there's just too much of an angle taken by the Rockville defense entirely. Pursues him, forces him back into the middle as we got into another decision time for Stewarts Creek. Are they going to go up 2 scores with the field goal, or are they going to try and pin Rockville again, worst case scenario, and go for the touchdown?
Stewarts Creek will want to talk about it as Rockville takes their first time out of the half with under 2 minutes to go. Had a similar situation on the last drive for Stewarts Creek, a 4th and goal inside the 5. They went for it and got stopped. This is 4th and goal from the 9. Remember not to go anywhere. The U.S. Navy halftime report coming up. Hear from Sammy Kincaid. Check out some highlights from across the country, and of course the first half stats from this one, that Stewarts Creek leads by a score from the first quarter. Touchdown connection from Jerry Taylor to Caleb Floyd late in the first quarter. And the kicking unit will come out for Stewarts Creek. Landon Wharf, the sophomore kicker, will tee up a 26-yard attempt from the right hash. Looking for a 2-score lead. Flag down. Here's Robbie Milliken, our referee tonight.
Encroachment, number 6 to the blue. Still 4th down.
I got to tell you, Lucas, a lot of kickers, they'll tell you when you get in this a little bit too close, but on a hash, it's kind of an awkward kick. So it might actually have been preferred to kick it on their original spot rather than move it up. And you have, if you're Stewarts Creek, maybe as the kicking unit does stay out.
Well, it makes it a 21-yarder, but you're right. Angle could be tougher here for Wharf. High snap. Kick is blocked. The kick is blocked, and Rockvale comes up with the stop again. It is Ty Brown, the corner. That gets this Rockvale crowd back into it. Still 7-0 with under 2 minutes to go in the half.
Over from their own 9-yard line.
The Rockville defense has been absolutely electric. We see right off the right side of your screen, number 7, Ty Brown, fired up. Just gets a good jump off of the snap. Also the high snap, hard to handle.
It's a good job by Jacob Jones, the backup quarterback for Stewarts Creek, to get it down, but Brown would not be stopped off the edge. And here's 1st and 10 for Rockville. Pump fake. Now rolling out is Elliott. Still looking downfield. Guns it that way, and it's incomplete. Landon Jennings coming back for the ball. Taj Roseburr in coverage. 2nd and 10.
Looked like there, Lucas, there was kind of a miscommunication in the route. It looked like he wanted to look for the pump fake and then attack over the top, but came back in for the hitch instead of kind of attacking over. Rockville's offense has just really struggled to get anything gelling.
From their own 9-yard line. George gets a few as Harris brings him down.
Romeo George with 5-yard gain on the carry. Brings up
So that'll bring up 3rd and 5. They'll give him 5 on the play. And for George, that makes it 5 carries for 32 yards on the night. Elliott will throw. Looking deep. Looking for Morgan. Throws that way, and Jalen Morgan can't hang on. The Georgia commit, blue chip recruit coming back for the football, would have had a big play for 1st down. Instead, it's 4th and 5. Rockville's got to boot it away again.
That's a tough one for Jalen Morgan, who has been really good on the defensive side, been the kind of the lone safety who has been making plays because the Rockville defensive front has been so strong. Also made some great plays early for the offense, but when you need it right there, again, it's a 2-minute situation. Rockville hasn't shown they can be too consistent, so I'm not really betting on them succeeding on the 2-minute as the punt goes off, but still one you want to have.
And Salguro bounces it at the 40, and it will go out of bounds. So Stewarts Creek will get it in Rockville territory. They'll take over at the 41 of the Rockets. So that's a 27-yard punt by Brandon Salguro. And now the 1-minute offense comes out for the Stewarts Creek Redhawks, who have 1 timeout and a 7-0 lead.
It's been an interesting, I was asking you before the game, the coaches before the game, we're kind of like, it's a battle of styles, but it's been hard for us to kind of get a beat on who's going to win where. And it's been interesting to see. I don't think anybody guessed it would be a real defensive front battle, but that's kind of what it's been up to this point.
And Stewarts Creek not afraid to put it in the air tonight either. Taylor going to throw on 1st down. Little screen over the middle. Nice snag by Floyd. He's got room across the 30 and wrangled down at the 34-yard line. Chunk play from Taylor to Floyd, 15 yards, and a UA local 572 1st down.
I can't tell you how much of a fan I am of early down screens, Lucas. I love them.
Throwing to the right, nearly broken up. Taylor does connect with Mangrum, who holds on to the football. It's a short gain. Only 3 on the play, but good hands by Kai Mangrum.
Clock is ticking here for Stewarts Creek's offense.
Johnson nearly came in and broke it up. Now Taylor, under pressure, guns it deep down the right side, and it falls incomplete, a step in front of his tight end, Grady Harvey. 3rd and 3.
Kind of looked like Harvey there slowed his stride just a little bit instead of kind of really selling out for his quarterback. A good throw by Taylor because you want it to be away from the defensive back. No chance for him to kind of interfere with it. Stewarts Creek facing 3rd down. Still, I believe, in field goal range for their kicker as we have a timeout on the field for Rockville.
Yeah, 2nd one of the 1st half for the Rockets. Now Stewarts Creek will come back to talk about it. 3rd and 3. How big does this drive feel for the Redhawks, who have now gotten inside the Rockville 10 twice and come up empty both times? And it feels like they're just getting another shot at it here to go up 2 scores before the half.
But there's also kind of an air of frustration. As successful as the game has been, I mean, to be quite honest, it's been a big Stewarts Creek game. All the momentum has been on their side, but to only be up 7-0 and to kind of fail in these key moments. The red zone is such a sacred thing, especially as an offensive lineman. You take pride in your red zone efficiency. You want to be 70% scoring, at least 50% touchdowns. And in this game, it just hasn't fallen the way they wanted to. They kind of get lost in their inside zone. The Rockville defensive front is just too strong. When they try to take their quarterback, Jerry Taylor, on the edges on the rollouts, the first ones, the passes have just not been developed into the routes. He's tried to tuck and run, but the Rockville secondary does a good job of kind of going sideline to sideline. It's just been a tough day.
Here's 3rd and 7. Stewarts Creek has 2 timeouts to work with. They will get the football to open the second half. Taylor alone in the backfield. Under pressure, hit, still on his feet. Jerry Taylor's gonna run. Did he get out of bounds? Yes, he did. Clock stops with 15 seconds to go in the half. And Taylor's a little shaken up there. Grabbing onto his left ankle. Did so well to avoid the sack and get out of bounds. But the junior quarterback is down after the play.
We saw the right tackle for Stewarts Creek there, number 71, Aiden Weiss, the senior. You always get taught as offensive lineman, you don't want to throw your blockers into the backfield. This is why. You watch on the right side of your screen, 71, he throws number 13 for Rockville right into the backfield. That's Joshua Decker, the senior. Now, Taylor does a good job of avoiding the sack, but he's still down on the field getting checked out.
Yeah, Levy Johnson ended up making the hit out of bounds there, and Taylor being looked at. So as he's still down, Stewarts Creek has a 4th and 5 to contemplate here. At the 21 would be a long field goal, and we'll see if the offense will come out. They will, with backup quarterback looking like Jake Amos. No, correction. That's R.C. Davis, the sophomore, wearing number 19. And Davis, also the punter for this team, will head back to the sideline to talk to his head coach and offensive play caller, Ben Caudill. Now, they have a couple options at backup quarterback. Jacob Jones, another, the senior who is the leader on this team, a leader at the school, the student body president, listed on the depth chart as a backup option to Taylor, but they're going to send Davis out here, the sophomore. 4th and 5, offense on the field. Big moment here for the young quarterback who has not attempted a pass this season. Trying the hard count. Takes the snap. Davis wires it to the left side, caught by Mangrum. It's going to be close. Depends on the spot.
Wow, that's close.
Might be just enough. We'll get another look here.
Good job by R.C. Davis. Great ball placement.
And it's going to come back with a penalty. A holding against Stewarts Creek.
A little anticlimactic there.
Yeah, thought we might
that flag
have
just
to measure.
That flag just kind of spawned on the field. I didn't even see it get thrown.
Offense, number 58. That's 10 yards from the previous spot. 4th down.
Number 58, the left tackle for Stewarts Creek, Josiah Hall, getting the call against him.
And now your offense is in an even tougher spot. On 4th and long with 7 seconds to go. Certainly out of the range of kicker Landon Wharf. But what do you do here from the Rockvale 31-yard line?
As the clock hits 0-0, Lucas. A lot of confusion on the field with the Rockvale coaches signaling, let's get to the Let's get to the locker rooms. It's halftime.
They let it run down, and it looks like the first half is over. Stewarts Creek's not going anywhere. Now, Ben Caudill, I'm sure, arguing that the holding penalty would have stopped the clock at 7 seconds.
Well, it is offensive holding, and when you get down into later runs, there might be a runoff rule, too. As the referees are kind of trying to figure it out themselves, and we are going to halftime.
They're going to send them to the locker rooms. So an interesting end to the first half out here in Rutherford County. Stewarts Creek leading the Rockville Rockets 7-0 at the break from a first quarter touchdown pass from Jerry Taylor to his running back Caleb Floyd. Sammy Kincaid going to catch up with Coach Ben Caudill here before the break, as his team leads by a score on the road here in week 4. Stewarts Creek 2-1, Rockville 1-2 in the last game before region play starts up for both 6A Rutherford County teams. Stewarts Creek going to feel like they should be up by more than 7, being stopped inside the Rockville 10 twice. Once on a 4th and goal that was stopped, another on a blocked field goal attempt by Landon Wharf that was blocked by Ty Brown off the edge. And the Redhawks will get the football back to start the third quarter. Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid, who's with Ben Caudill.
Coach, can you walk me through that last drive? You end up going with Davis whenever your quarterback goes down first. Is your quarterback going to be okay? And what went into that decision?
I hadn't heard anything yet, so we'll figure that out here hopefully in a second at halftime.
And
generous contributions to the football program in Rockville as a community. Thank you.
Missed some opportunities down there inside the 10-yard line twice to go up multiple scores. We got to finish drives. I think we're playing really, really well on defense. Just got to finish some drives and make sure we execute in the red zone.
Good luck, half coach. Luke, get back to you.
Thank you, Sammy. Stewarts Creek leads at Rockville 7-0 on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. The U.S. Navy halftime report next.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
We're proud to present the Sonic Scholar Athlete of the Week. This week's Scholar Athletes are Jacob Jones from Stewarts Creek High School and Landon Jennings from Rockvale High School. Jacob received a composite score of 36 on the ACT, is president of the National Honor Society, and helped lead his team to the second most wins in school history in 2023. Landon has held above a 3.8 GPA and will be graduating with honors. He's also been a part of the Rockvale High School football team for 4 years, along with playing various other sports from golf to track. These All-Stars are now entered to win a $10,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to our Sonic Athletes of the Week. Live free, eat Sonic.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Welcome back to Rockville, where they are currently down by 7 to Stewarts Creek, and I am joined by the athletic director of Stewarts Creek, Todd Harris. Thank you so much for joining me. And you have some people with us here tonight.
Yeah, we've got some awesome students here tonight, Sammy. But a little bit about Stewarts Creek. First, it's a privilege to be here with my TV 30 on Friday Night Lights. What a great night. No hurricane. We're good to go. A little bit about Stewarts Creek. Man, Stewarts Creek's one of the biggest schools in the state. But we've got some awesome things going on, from our culinary arts, our CTE program, you name it. Obviously, football, band, dance, those things. Matter of fact, we got some guests here with us tonight. Stewarts Creek cheer is trend-setting.
We love Friday Night Lights. Being in front of our student section while cheering on our football team is such a surreal experience.
And we do far more than just cheer on the sidelines. We have 17 state titles and 8 national championships.
Hey, Sammy, so even beyond the cheer, the spirit groups, everything like that, we've got one of the most exciting student bodies in Middle Tennessee. They're amazing. Our students are up. Hey!
And we are Clark Crew. We run the student section. And we also run the flags every single Friday night. We got spirit, yes we do. We got spirit, how about you?
Hey, it's my interview. All right, now, Hey, listen, again, to everybody out there in my TV 30 land, Nashville area, everything like that, Stewarts Creek is more than just a school. It's a family, it's a community, and Stewarts Creek, we are one team.
Well, I really appreciate it. This has been, I think, the best halftime interview all year, without a doubt. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.
And thank you so much to Western Kentucky for this educator spotlight. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have a whole lot more for you. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Mr. Bruce, Jordan and Jordan Incorporated. Juan Medina with Accessibility. Quality Tire. Charlie Patel. Ross Bearless. Superior Fence. Big Z Tire and Wheels. Jeff Clark. Pattis Reed. Curbing Edge. And Jessica Carter in memory of Arian Carter. Our blue level donors are Hillary Plumbing, Haynes Hardware, Rosalind Supply, Rockville Boys Soccer, Rockville Girls Soccer, Elam Real Estate, Elite Land Management, Kona Ice, Misty Lindsay with Elam Realty, Modern Woodman, Southeast Title, Shade Barber Lounge, Tennessee Orthopedic.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Welcome back to Rockville High School. I am currently joined by Rockville's principal, Steve Luker, and also the cheer team is hanging out with us during halftime. So, dance team, cheer team. I'm sorry, I was a cheerleader. You got to excuse me.
Yeah, they're here. They've been working hard. You can tell. I caught them on the way to the concession stand. But yeah, we have a lot going on at Rockville tonight. So we got dancers, we got cheer, we got band, we have a fantastic student section, we got drums, we got a lot going on, and we got you guys here.
No, it's fantastic. Thank you so much for hosting us tonight. And you got a lot going on. You got some dual enrollment and CTE. Talk to me about those programs.
Well, you know, high school is different than it was even 5 years ago. Rockville is the largest participant of dual enrollment with MTSU of any other school. So we have a lot of kids that are in dual enrollment. We have those dual enrollment classes inside our school, and also a lot of kids going to MTSU to take classes. We also have dual enrollment with Motlow, Ball State, TCAT. I mean, we have a lot of dual enrollment going on for these kids. They got a lot of opportunities. They really do.
And that's fantastic that they get to go onto a college campus as well. And these guys also get to enjoy this new turf. Yes. It's pretty impressive what you got going on here.
Well, it is. It's impressive to me, and I was here. You know, I've seen it a lot, and every time I walk out here, I'm impressed. And I know the viewers tonight have probably had a really good view from the cameras up in the press box. But yeah, it was a community project. We started raising money, getting pledges in January of this year. We worked all through the year. What you do, you get pledges from businesses, and they pay a little bit each year. So this turf, it has a different type of composite underneath the field. It's not rubber, it's coconut shells. So the reason for that, it's about 20 degrees cooler on a sunny day, and we practice out here a lot. And, it's new technology. The turf itself has a watermark, what I like to say, of their American flag. And we're very proud of it. So it's brand new, great surface to play on. Also, we have a new jumbotron, I call it, and scoreboard. But it was a community effort, not just Rockville students and teachers and Booster Club. It was community members. They pitched in, and here we are.
$1.7 million that they pitched in to make this happen. And I'm sure that you guys probably appreciate that as those coconut shells underneath and making it a lot cooler for you, right?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Well, it is absolutely beautiful facility, and thank you again so much for hosting us tonight. And thank you so much to Western Kentucky for this educator spotlight. Lucas, I'm going to send it back up to you guys in the booth.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Thank you, Sammy and Principal Luker. It is an impressive facility here at Rockvale High School, but the Rockets trail at the half against Stewarts Creek 7-0. Alongside Bruno Reagan in the booth, I'm Lucas Panzica. As we get to the first half highlights from this one, low-scoring game, but certainly the leading team was not short of opportunities. Stewarts Creek, though, in business in the first half as Taylor was able to overcome some hits in the backfield from the Rockvale defense. There it's Cavante Porter. Teams trading punts early on. A quick play, the first down of the day down the sideline here by the Rockvale offense to wide receiver James Stevenson. But then the Stewarts Creek run game went to work, Bruno, as here is Jeremy Smith on a big gash.
On their first series where they scored, they had two explosive plays on the edges, working on their pitch and their jet sweep game. They kind of has opened up the rest of their offense. Great job by Stevenson. And then we have our quarterback, Taylor, rolling out to Floyd. Who else but Floyd, our player to watch coming into this game, getting Stewarts Creek on the board. But still a tight game, 7-0. Nothing too crazy coming up. Here's been the struggles for the red zone. The Rockville defense has really keyed in. Taylor kind of struggling between run and pass. Rockville defense gets pumped up. As we see, Jalen Morgan, our Georgia commit, getting pumped up after a stop. And then a big play to the tight end, number 80, Grady Harvey. He's hard to take down. That's that tight end you in Nashville. They're going to invite you soon, son. And then the blocked punt right there by number 7 for Rockville, Ty Brown. Another great play, keeping it within a one-score game as we get a look at our halftime stats with Lucas.
So 83 passing yards for Stewarts Creek to Rockville 63. Great balance by the Red Hawks offense there, 100-plus in the run game already. And you see it, Bruno, 7 penalties for 50 yards against Rockville. Really hamstrung them in the first half.
Yeah, and it's not even the yards. It's really just the time in the place. A lot of first down penalties and third down penalties where you convert and then it's kind of brought back. That's a big motivation killer. First and 20, really hard to stop. For the Red Hawks, though, the key of the day has been efficiency. Again, their coach, head coach Ben Caudill mentioned it. They kind of struggled in the red zone, but they came into this game and the season with the goal of being efficient, and they've done just that tonight.
They certainly did. Efficiency is the name of the passing game for the Red Hawks. Talk a little more about that when they get the ball in the third quarter, but so far so good for Stewarts Creek, who leads, but came up short on a couple of opportunities in that first half. Each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we'll be showcasing outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. Let's check out some of the best from last week's action.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Edie going for it all, has a man out there. Catch is made, touchdown. Slinger. Lucas Sun, another spectacular catch.
Scrambling for his life, being chased, has the corner, and goes over the top. And that effort's going to get him the first down. Well done, young man.
Here's Clear going deep down the near sideline. Amari Jackson, did he hole it in? It looks like he did.
That was tremendous.
Lights, camera, action, Jackson. First down and goal. And the toss. Buttery makes one man miss, shakes off the tackle from left. He is still going. Buttery across the goal line. He is in for the touchdown.
Pitch and go. Looking for Fry. Leaping grab. Touchdown, Hartford.
Nice. If they don't complete this pass.
So, Noah Legg.
You better make it. You better make it.
He gets all the way
did.
for the
He's
touchdown.
in the end zone.
Noah Legg, 10 yards for the Conway touchdown with just 23 seconds left on the clock.
Welcome back to Rockville, where they are currently hosting Stewarts Creek. And Coach, just came out of your locker room. What was the message to your team?
Well, our message was, keep playing great on defense. We're doing a great job on defense. Offensively, we're just not executing. That's probably the worst we've played on offense all year. So if we come out and do what we're supposed to do, we can take this game over, I think. So, the message was just do what we do and play Rockville football, and we'll be fine.
And what really is that you have to do to get your offense going?
We just got to execute. I mean, it's just one guy here, one guy there, and we're not being disciplined enough to execute the offense right now.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach. Lucas, I'm going to throw it up to you.
Thank you, Sammy. Coach Guthrie, alongside Bruno Reagan in the booth. I'm Lucas Panzica. Stewarts Creek 7, Rockvale nothing. And clearly Brian Guthrie not happy with the offensive performance, Bruno, but Rockvale just hanging around as we get into the second half.
And what Guthrie was talking about in that halftime report, thank you, Sammy, by the way, it's called 10-man football, all right? It's the bane of offensive football existence. When you're a defensive player or a defensive coordinator, you need one guy to blow up the play and make the play. In offense, in any offense, no matter what, you need 11 guys doing their job to be efficient and effective and have explosive plays. And Rockvale has just kind of had a thing here, a thing there, getting beat on the offensive line, a penalty. It's just been a struggle for them to stay on the field.
And for Stewarts Creek, who will get the football back in the third quarter, how do you overcome some of the missed opportunities in the first half from a mentality standpoint? You're up 7-0, but you had the ball inside the Rockvale 10 twice and couldn't convert.
Stewarts Creek, I think you want to be stoic. You don't want to get too high and encourage, like, hey, we're kicking their butts. Don't worry about the score. I mean, always worry about the score. It's important, right? But you don't want to get too low either. You don't want to go in there ripping your guys like, what's going on in the red zone, right? You want to try and stay stoic, point out the things you're doing well, point out the things you can really improve on. And they've really tried to key in on the rollout passes for the red zone, maybe try a different series of plays. A lot of offensive coordinators, they have plays they like when they get certain situations. But for Stewarts Creek, they have to find a way to convert in the red zone. Otherwise, they're dominating the game on all fronts.
One thing Stewarts Creek really wanted to improve on this season is efficiency in the passing game. Head coach Ben Caudill said last year they were 47% in their completion percentage all season long. He decided to take back the offensive play calling duties, and he set a clear goal to reach 70% completion percentage in 2024. An update through 3.5 games, as Jerry Taylor is 6 of 10 tonight, came into the game 21 of 32. He is completing 64% of his passes so far, but Bruno, Jerry Taylor went down near the end of that second quarter. We'll see if the junior quarterback comes back out.
Yeah, and that's just great coaching from a goal-setting standpoint. For a team, you need to have goals that are measurable. A lot of coaches get caught up kind of in the cliches and in the verbiage. He said, we have this goal, and 70% for, and to give the audience a fair view of efficiency. For rushing, you want to average 4 yards at the very minimum. That is efficient rushing. That can keep you on the field. It's a winning stat. For passing, it's 60 yards. They are looking for 70. That's shooting for the stars, right? Efficient passing, you could probably get away with 62, 65%. So the fact they're trending the way they want to, that's how you build a program, Lucas.
So we'll see if we can get any update on junior quarterback Jerry Taylor, who did a nice job managing the offense in the first half as that point guard, so to speak. He's also the starting point guard on the Stewarts Creek basketball team, but went down with what looked like a lower leg injury on a tackle out of bounds late in the second quarter. So if he can't go, we'll see if it is senior backup Jacob Jones or sophomore R.C. Davis, who came out for 2 plays, really one, as a penalty nixed it before the end of the second quarter. As Stewarts Creek huddles up in the end zone, ready to break for the second half. Again, the Redhawks will receive the football to start the third quarter with a 7-0 lead as they won the coin toss and deferred to the second half. The Rockvale Rockets, 1 and 2, coming off a heartbreaking loss at Tullahoma. They've come so close in their 2 losses, falling against Nolensville in the season opener 24-21 on a 47-yard field goal, and then losing to Tullahoma last week on a 50-yard field goal. Their lone win of the season, 31-14 in this building, week 2 against Smyrna. They're trying to get to 2 and 2. Stewarts Creek trying to get to 3 and 1 as they're coming off a dominant win over Hillsboro, and we are locked in for what should be a fun second half on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law here on MyTV 30. Halftime clock is ticking down as Brian Guthrie leads his Rockvale Rockets back out onto Homer Brown Field here at Rockvale High School, looking for a comeback effort against an old pal of his, Ben Caudill, on the opposite sideline. Was fun to be on the field with those two pregame, hearing some friendly trash talk there. You can tell how close the two are. But tonight, competitors in week 4.
That's why you got to love the high school game, man. I mean, we have these storylines, these communities, and these are people also the crowd knows as we set up going into our kickoff.
Let's quickly go down to Sammy for an injury report. Sammy?
Hey, guys, for the Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Report, just talked to Stewarts Creek, and they said JT Taylor, he's good to go. He just had to get some tape on that ankle, and he will be set for the second half.
Well, that is great news. Thank you, Sammy, for the update. The junior quarterback back out, throwing the ball around. We'll see if he is himself here in the second half after going down with that ankle injury, but great to see him back and ready to go. All right, the Redhawks going to get the ball to start the third quarter with a 7-0 road lead at Rockvale High School. Troutman kicks it off, trying to avoid the returner, Jeremy Smith, and it's fielded by Roseburg at the 25, and he is wrestled down at the 30. So good starting field position for Stewarts Creek. They'll come out with the offense, 1st and 10, the opening series of the second half.
Now, Lucas, there's nothing ever, good or positive about a young man getting hurt or having to fight through adversity. But when you're a dual threat quarterback, I think we've seen it earlier in the first series, where, especially when we're getting to the red zone, we're kind of caught between the run and the pass on plays where you have decision. Now, if you get a little banged up, it's going to, on the one hand, the defense knows it forces you into it, but you have to really trust